Welcome to another episode of the Stuck in My Thoughts podcast. As always, I'm your host and three-time All-American high jumper Justin Stuckey. And today we have a guest that really needs no introduction. He is currently the head interim football coach here at Auburn University, Coach Carnell Cadillac Williams. Coach, thank you for being on the show.
Oh man, Stuck, I truly appreciate you for having me on the show. I'm honored to be on this show, and it's weird every time I hear somebody call me head coach. It hits different.
Yes, sir.
So man, excited to be on the show.
We know it's a busy week. You know, you got the Iron Bowl coming up, so we appreciate you taking the time to come out here. How you feel going to the Iron Bowl? We start off with that. How you feel?
I'm excited. I'm from this state, grew up in North Alabama, from Gadsden, Alabama. And for a lot of people that don't know my story, I actually grew up rooting for that other team.
Oh, the other team, huh?
Yes. So my mom and a lot of my family were Alabama fans, and from my Pee Wee coach, Steve to my middle school coach, Ryan Gray, high school coach, Coach Raymond Former, a lot of those mentored the men that I had in my life at the time were Alabama fans. So I grew up going to games down there since I was 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And just pulled for them. And thank God in the fall of 2000, November, I had an opportunity to go to the Auburn, Georgia game. And that's what truly piqued my interest in Auburn.
Yes, sir. We're glad that you did your thing while you was here. And it took you on to a great career in the NFL, 7 years there. And one thing we were just talking about before we turned the cameras on was you being a Christian athlete. And I think that's a big perspective I like to talk about here on this show. And one of the big trends that have been coming up as a Christian athlete is talking about identity. And I know me as well as a lot of other people in the world have, found it a real struggle sometimes putting our identity fully into the sport, and we should be putting our identity into Christ. And when I first heard that, I was kind of like, what are you talking about? Like, I felt like that was like a weak mindset at first. I was like, what do you mean I'm not an athlete? Like, why wouldn't my identity be an athlete? Because that's what I am. And you had a long playing career. When you got done playing, and that's the biggest thing people are saying, when you got done playing, getting out of NFL, did you have trouble finding your identity? Or was it a struggle for you?
Whoa, God, yes. Because, I preach to kids now and tell them, don't let this game define you, who you are. But you do it for so long. It's such a great game. Any sport that you grow up playing, so much camaraderie, so much chemistry, so much passion go into it. Are you trying to succeed, trying to be great at it where it consumes you? Mm-hmm. Football was my identity, and I found that out hard. In 2011 was my last year playing with the St. Louis Rams. And in 2012, I was bouncing around, going to work out for teams, trying to actually play. Mm-hmm. And, just could never pass a physical, because I tore my knees up in year 3 and year 4. So couldn't get nobody to, write out for me for the physical. But it hit like a bombshell for me. Mm-hmm. Because of, man, I struggled big time. I did not know how much the game had an impact on me like that until I got done playing. I battled depression. I had just got married in 2011. And me and my wife were traveling, started an insurance company. Things was going well. But, man, I was on autopilot. I wasn't happy. And was all because of someone just missing. Whenever, being an athlete, whenever you grow up in that locker room, you grow up competing, and all of a sudden it becomes to a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
And I isolated myself from people where I felt like a failure. I felt ashamed that, that I wasn't playing in the NFL. So that was a dark moments for me. But man, my faith through a lot of prayer, to a lot of to my God seeking, kind of got me out of that. And honestly, I had some one-on-one counseling. Like I was in it was deep. That's tough on athletes, man. Whenever they get done playing, it's tough.
Yeah, and that's the biggest stigma. I'm glad you brought that up, that one-on-one counseling, especially from the male perspective. A lot of males don't want to seek that quote-unquote help, don't want to admit, hey, I'm struggling. Hey, I'm having a hard time. And honestly, especially in the black community, because we're raised to gut through the tough times. No matter what's going on, we're trained up to have tunnel vision because a lot of us don't make it anyway. So sometimes you can't have that sympathy. You're not going to get that sympathy. And so I think that's the biggest thing. And I had somebody reach out to me like a week ago, wanted me to bring it up on my show, talking about the mental health aspect from a male's perspective, the athlete, and understanding like it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, hey, I need help. And you got people in your corner for that, and not understand you don't have to go through things alone. And I'm glad you're very transparent, especially with your platform and me with my platform, to be able to talk about this right now. So I think that's huge.
Who you said it, man. That is huge. To me, with me being a follower of Christ, we were put on this earth to be in relationship with each other, to be in a community. And I grew up in the church. Found out who my daddy was when I was 16, who was a pastor. And look, I was raised. Idle mind is the devil playground. So whenever you get isolated like that, man, it's tough to overcome. Whew. I mean, again, like you say, in the black community, we are raised to carry the load, to be the savior, to be perfect, to not ask for help. But my athletes, my current athlete that I coach, my guys I coach in the past, guys I recruit now, like I tell people, man, get vulnerable with people. Like, be transparent, open. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay to lean on other people. Like, it's truly okay. And honestly, that is how I came out of my depression, how I came out of my funk, man. I got help. I lean on the Randy Browns of the world, the Jason Campbells, my friends, my close friends, and the counseling. It truly helped me come out of that place. And and you're still gonna struggle from time to time with it, where we all do. But again, man, whenever you got good people on your team and you all doing life together, it's so impactful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so you transition. You got out of that funk, like you said, out of not playing sports. But then you got into something different. Somewhere in the same relation, but you got into coaching. And that's where we're going to go to now, because you already know we have to talk about this thing. The past few weeks for you have been busy, to say the least. Very busy. Let's go back. They announced on that Monday they're going to have a change in leadership at Auburn. All over Twitter, Facebook, every social media platform. A lot of us are in class. We're in class football players. Different things going on. We're like, okay, what's going on? How long between when they said we're going to have a change in leadership did they come to you and say, hey, would you like to be the interim coach? Like, nobody knows that perspective.
Well, it happened shortly I guess we found out as a staff around 11:30 noon that that Coach Harsin was gonna be let go there. So the 10 we all met, Coach Harsin informed us, and he said, "Look, they haven't told nobody in the room knew who was gonna be the interim head coach."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they're gonna announce at a later time. Like he was like, I don't know who they're interim. Like we didn't know, and guess shortly, I guess around 1:30, 2 o'clock, that's when I found out that they asked me to be the to step in that leadership role, and I was honestly, I looked at him and said, like, me? Are y'all?
Were you hesitant?
I was very hesitant, because I had this fear automatic come over me, not because of the fear of me failing, be honest with you. It was the fear of letting others down, because I got in coaching in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, everybody that know me through this coaching and got to know me, when people ask me what's my end goal, do I want to be a head coach? No, I didn't. I never had a dream, aspiration to be a head coach. So I know the magnitude of this position of people that look like me that wants to be in this position and don't get their chance. So I had so much weight on me, like, man, am I gonna fail them?
Mm-hmm.
Am I gonna fail the players, the Auburn family? I just started thinking about, can I truly do this? Like, I don't want to mess this up for the next generation, the people coming behind me that done paved the way for me to get these opportunities. Like, I didn't want to mess it up by just falling flat on my face.
Yeah.
So I was very fearful of that.
Well, you accepted, and we're glad you accepted. But I got to ask you this. How does it feel? And I know you said that your son ended up telling you this, but how does it feel to be the first black head football coach here at Auburn? Interim or not, you're the head coach. How does it feel to be that?
Wow. Honestly, when they asked me that, it really didn't hit me. So it was that Monday, I found out that night, stayed at the office to about 12:30. Got home, went to sleep about 1-ish, got back up at 4:30, did some reading, left the house about 5:30, but before I left the house, I said, you know what, I'm going to kiss my boys. Bye-bye. But then I was like, no, you know what, I ain't seen them all day, so I'm going to wake them up. So I woke my youngest one up. I said, hey, Quinn, good morning. He looked. I said, hey, Daddy, the head coach, you happy? He was like, yes, Daddy. And so he goes back to sleep. So my oldest one, Cole, who is 8, Quinn's my youngest one, 6, and Cole is 8. I shake him and wake him up. I said, hey, Cole, Daddy's the head coach. I said, you happy? He's like, yes, Daddy, I am. And then he goes on to say, Daddy's just temporary though. It's like, so
Kind of brought you back down a little bit.
Yeah, he brought me back down to life. I was like, oh yeah,
it is temporary.
He's right. And then as I was leaving, I was like, well, son, you have a good day at school. Daddy love you.
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped me and said, Daddy, are you the first African-American coach at Auburn? And I looked. I said, yes, son. And since that day, it's been heavy on me. Because my 2 boys look at me along with my family and other people around the world that's giving them so much hope, so much inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to think, man, I don't know, you know, where you came from, but where I'm from, in our culture, like we don't dream of being the head coach of Auburn University or Alabama or, you know, these prestigious big university. Like we just don't, you don't see it.
You just took my next question away.
So
that's exactly what we on.
Hit your next question. Let's get to it.
I'm just saying, we're both from Alabama. I grew up in Helena, Alabama, small town. You grew up in North Alabama. So growing up, especially as a young black kid, if we're playing football today, our dream is to NFL, NBA. Because also from another perspective, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people that look like us doing that, so that's what we aspire to be. None of my friends said, oh, I want to be the coach at Auburn. Oh, I want to coach a team to the finals. Like, that wasn't even a thought. And so do you feel like your positioning now can inspire kids who look like us that are young to want to do that, want to coach, want to be in director roles that they aren't the majority, to make it the majority? Do you feel like your positioning can spark that?
Yes, I do. Because sit up at night and think about, you know, the hope, inspiration that you're giving the generation before me, people that's in this business. Because like you just said, you don't see enough of us in this position. So a lot of times, what you don't see, you can't fathom. So I never imagined anything like this. I never had any dream to be like the head coach of Auburn University.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like my friends at Auburn. Like, we talk about things and nobody
brought up.
Nobody ever like, hey, I'm inspired to be the head coach one day. But because of however long it is, if it's only this season, the interim head coach, it has been done.
Yeah.
And so with that, it done been done. So people, the kids out there, they have seen it. So now that they have seen it, so now they can aspire, they can reach, and they know it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm proud of that, and I'm honored to be the first, and I'm just excited and blessed to have this opportunity.
Yes, sir. We're glad that you are here. And I've watched a lot of interviews, people asking you after pregame pressers, postgame pressers, different things like that. And somebody asked you the other game, talking about the coaching search, and your response was, I don't know, I don't really care. And I like that, because it shows that you're focused on the team here. But what everybody has failed to ask you is, the same way they came to you and said, hey, we want to offer you the position as the interim coach. Would you like to be the interim coach? Do you want to be the head coach?
If you would have asked me this 3 weeks ago when I took it, I would have told you no way that I want to put up with this. I'm telling you, I was scared as a puppy. But one of the best things that you can do, man, is to be in a position and have a little success and have support and gain the confidence that you feel like you actually can do it. One thing I do know is, man, the Lord has been dealing with me over the past year. I've been telling my friends, like, they all been bringing it up. They're like, man, you remember when you said that it's more out there for you? Like, it's some kind of, like, the Lord been putting on your heart, like, you gonna be in like an executive role. And really, I've been I've been telling the Lord, like, I want to live a simple life. I'm happy at what I'm doing. Like, I want to be in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I tell guys, it's like, do you want to be here? I'm like, no, I want to live a simple life. I want to pour into these kids' lives. I don't want to be in the spotlight. But in my spirit, it been rumbling. So to say that I don't want this Auburn job, probably wouldn't be truthful at all, because man, I know it's something that I could do and I could thrive at it. But again, I'm also gonna go where it's not a make or break for me, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, my seat don't dictate my service. I mean, it could impact,
Mm-hmm.
My service, depending on my seat. But man, I'm gonna continue to serve. I'm gonna continue to pour into kids' lives. I'm gonna continue to give. I'm gonna continue to love on people. I just feel like whenever you do anything out of love, it's gonna prosper. So, whatever happen in these next couple of weeks, whatever go on, man, I'm gonna put my faith in God and just let the chips fall wherever they fall.
Yes, sir. That's real right there. I appreciate it. All right, Coach. We got this thing on my show called the Dropbox Questions. So we got 3 quick trivia questions, and they're pretty interesting. A lot of people out there submitted these, so I thought it was pretty cool. So, first question, what are your top 5 running backs of all time?
Ooh, yes, sir. God, that's a great question.
It ain't got to be in order.
Don't gotta be in order.
Just name 5.
Eric Dickerson, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders. Ooh, the great, who I modeled my game out there, who I wanted to be every last bit like, the great Walter Payton.
Okay, that's good. One more.
Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna go with one that may surprise a lot of people. But man, he's one of the most talented backs that I've ever seen, lay eyes on, could do it always. Fred Taylor, man.
Ooh. Okay.
Wow, I think he's one of the most underrated backs that ever played the game, and he's probably the most talented back to ever play the game.
I'm going to call Bo after this.
Well, and let me tell you why I'm not saying the great Bo Jackson is, because he just didn't have a long enough career.
That's true. That's true.
To be named in the top 5 for me now, talent wise.
Yeah.
He's one of the most talented backs. I mean, come on, man, the guy can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
But
That longevity.
he just didn't have that longevity like those guys.
Yeah. That Fred Taylor, I'm going to have to go back and watch some tape on Fred Taylor for sure.
Who?
Okay.
It's scary. Go back and watch tape on him.
Okay. I will. Okay. 2004 season. Should y'all have been in that national championship game?
No doubt. No doubt. Like, now you trying to get my blood boiling now. What a shame. Like, what a shame that we didn't get the opportunity to face off against USC. Man, we was hungry. Man, we wanted those guys.
Yeah.
Man, we were chasing them. Man, that's all we could talk about year. I'm talking about every game. Like, we gonna get them, guys, because, the previous 2 years they had beat us.
Mm-hmm.
We went up there at USC. We should have won that game, cramped up, rest history. They came down here to Auburn. They spanked us pretty good. And it was like, we about to get them, guys. We gonna get a chance to play them in the national championship. And for us to be closed out of it, man, that was one of the most hurtful things I have ever been through in my life. And it's still It still hurts. It does. But, I always like to tell recruits and everybody that I couldn't win one as a player.
Mm-hmm.
But I was speaking into existence because I love to speak things. I'm going to win one as a coach.
Like that.
Promise you.
Yes,
I am.
sir.
I'm going to win one as a coach. Couldn't do it as a player, but we going to get one.
Yes,
we
sir.
going to get one as a coach.
Last question. You've played at the highest levels of football. You've been all over the country doing different things at a coaching perspective and a player perspective. But here on the Plains, what makes Auburn so unique and so special than the rest of those places you've been?
Wow. The people. It's so just like life-giving people that truly about serving, truly about giving, truly cares about humanity. Work hard, work. That family vibe, man. It's not a lot of places around the country that loves their university. Like Auburn people, like loves Auburn. Not just Auburn football. I'm talking about like Auburn, the community, the people. It's an amazing place to live, have amazing people. And I mean, it's just so different. It's places represent change. I think it changed lives. I mean, I'm a walking testimony. If you buy into it and you love Auburn, Auburn will love you back. It's a very special place, like no other place in the country, to be honest with you.
That's a fact. I've been here 4 months, and Auburn is a special place, and I'm excited to be here for at least the next 2 years to keep making it my home. And, Coach, we are so thankful that you were able to be on the show today. Appreciate y'all tuning in to this episode. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and you can find this episode on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And stay tuned for the next one. We out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Man. Appreciate you for having me.